So, I am. I've gotten into a Far Cry kick as of late, just for some reason, and I thought this would be kind of fun to do a video, basically, um, doing a video and pitching an idea for probably a video game we will never get because of rights, and that's really sad. And people say, well, that we've kind of gotten this game already before in other versions, just not as a Far Cry game. And I'm like, yeah, but just think of it though. So this is my pitch for probably the most insane Far Cry game you could ever think of, and it would only work if Ubisoft and Disney work together, which we'll never get because, you know, God help anyone making it, working together on something cool, right? Anyway, so this pitch is just wild because this is a Far Cry game, but it's also a Predator game. So yeah, so my pitch is Far Cry Predator. So Far Cry Predator, Far Cry Predator would, my pitch would be you are not being hunted by the predator. It's not like it's not like Predators where you're stuck on a planet or something. No, you're the predator. You're playing the predator in the game. Like, that's the idea. And you think, well, that's kind of weird. Well, here's my pitch, is that we go back to Rook Island from Far Cry 3, because that's the one that really launched everything. Was Far Cry 3 was like, yeah, Far Cry 1, it's a dumb game but fun. Far Cry 2 has its merits, but let's all agree that we all agree that Far Cry 3 was the game that really like launched the series into what it was. So in this game we go back to Far Cry 3, and in that story you play as a predator who's come down, but something happens to the pod and it wrecks. So in this game, we follow the events of after Rook Island. So now Citra's tribe has taken over, and they believe that the predator is like a, not so much a god, but more like a worthy hunter. And if they can kill this hunter, then they will have the perfect soldiers. So the predator at the start is the one being hunted because he loses all his gear, he loses all of it, and throughout the game, the predator has to like rebuild and like craft new weapons and harvest new tools, and eventually get his gear back through several missions. So that's would be the story, is that you play the predator, like rebuilding himself, and you could do like I think it'd be kind of cool to do like you could use tools at first, kind of like in the vein of Prey. After you lose all your gear, like the predator is just kind of like molding weapons and just crafting them, like making like killing animals and taking their weapons and modifying them to make like a blade, like wrist blades made from like the bones of a tiger or something, or a cast, like a bow that you can fire, like kind of like that, like a crossbow. But throughout the game, you would get like more and more get your gear back, and you would learn how to use it more. That's what I think would be really fun. Also, like there'd be a cloak, but it would be like due to it like short circuiting, the cloak would be like a limited time, but the more you upgrade it, the longer it has, and like it can be you decloak when you fire. Like that would be the end result, is that it could be indefinite and you could sneak around, but once you, like kind of like in the AVP game where you killed someone, you decloak and then you have to recloak again. Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. It really have to, like, the problem is that like people say like, oh well, what ending for Far Cry 3 are we doing here? Are we doing like the Jason Brody ending where he's on the island and dies, or is it the one where Citra dies and the tribe is just kind of in disarray? I would go with having Citra as the main villain. Like that would be the story, is that we follow Citra and it's kind of the bad ending. And that, because Far Cry is never known for having good endings no matter what. So the idea would be is that this would make the bad ending canon for Far Cry 3, the bad ending, the canon ending. and throughout the story you would like play as the Predator, and I'd even add like if possible I'd add like xenomorphs, but xenomorphs would probably be more expansion than anything else. I would definitely have like the xenomorphs as like an expansion, so you could do some AVP stuff. How I would do that is probably maybe have that like a group of treasure hunters have gone onto the island and found like this old temple, and it turns out it's an old Predator temple, and they wake up a xenomorph queen, and now it's overrunning the island. So you as the Predator have to like go out and kill them, and the queen is like the boss fight at the end. And yeah, but that's the thing, like I think it would be I think it'd be a lot of fun, because again, like you would have like in a normal Far Cry game you would have human allies, or you would have like fucking people you could work with on both sides of the war. But in here it'd be vastly different, in that this game you're on your own. Like you are straight up on your own, and you're just on an island and just kind of going around hunting and collecting skulls for like trophies, XP. And yeah, it would be more like the Predator would be doing his own missions, like, okay, I gotta go do this, gotta go do that. And it wouldn't like, as for like clock towers, it'd be more like the Predator goes to these signal towers and jams them, because they're messing with his communication, and they're like messing with his maps. So when you look at the map, it's like all gunked up until you like go up there, destroy the tower, and then you get the radio signal of that area. As for taking outpost, it'd be more like you're not so much killing people to liberate them. It's more like you're making like trophies and like your own little cave for fast travel. Like you would have like, after you kill everyone, like you'd see everyone like skinned and hanging from trees and whatnot, or like skulls everywhere, and like, yeah, now this is Predator territory now. That's how I would do the base liberation moments. As for animal killing, it'd again be for crafting weapons and also getting XP, and also like every different animal you kill, like it basically gives you a like, okay, you can craft this from a tiger skull or tiger bones, or this is for crocodile skin or something like that. But when you get your gear back, you can use the animal skins and craft like repairs for your gear, like when you get your classic gear back. That's just one way I would do it. As for other like methods, I would definitely have that the Predator doesn't do like helpful missions. It's more like, okay, you can pick which is the more worthy target when you see like an event happening, and you can like pick out who is the more like worthy target for you to like kill and harvest their body. Yeah, just the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, this would be like this would be a dream right here. Not only are you going back to Far Cry 3, the most popular game in the series, but you're also playing a Predator. Yeah, on Rook Island, that'd be perfect. Not only that, just imagine the DLC content. Like you could have a City Hunter costume, or the gear from Prey, or the gear from Predators. It'd even be kind of fun, like as in the game, like you would realize that there are like the reason why your ship kind of messed up when you went to Rook Island is because it was being sabotaged by a rival hunter, and that could be another boss fight for you. But it's not like a normal Predator like you, it's one of the Predators from, well, Predator, it's one of the super Predators. And that could be the boss fight at the end of the game, and when you kill Citra and collect her skull. So, yeah, again, this would be totally awesome. And again, if we can have a DLC for Far Cry where it crosses over with Stranger Things, yeah, we've had a Far Cry Stranger Things crossover. Shit I didn't expect. But we can sure as hell have this, but we're not going to, because, Disney and Ubisoft may not work together. And, we can't have nice things because of collaboration. Yeah. So there you go. But I would, as for an alternative, I would not be opposed to a DLC where you play as the character for either Far Cry 6 or a future Far Cry 7. I think it would be a lot of fun to do that and have the Predator as the opponent, which would actually be the more that would be the more logical. Like, that would be the one people would do for a Far Cry Predator crossover. Is more like they would have a DLC where you're fighting the Predator or several Predators as you're the main character from the game in this DLC, and not have you be the Predator. I just wanted to throw that out there because, like, wouldn't that be so cool? You're in a Far Cry game, but you're a Predator. Yeah. So there you go, guys. But you guys tell me in the comments below. What do you guys think of this idea? Do you think it's just a little too out there? Do you think it's a bit too much? I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say, because this was like something that was just on my mind. And again, I was just on a Far Cry kick. I was on a legit Far Cry kick, and I was just like, you know what, I want to do. And I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool, like, to have a Far Cry game but have it cross over with something else? I thought that would be kind of a neat experience. And have it cross over with Predator. It's so perfect. It is so fucking perfect. And yes, I know we've had, like, Predator Concrete Jungle, but this would be like a successor to that. Like, that was my idea, to make like this Far Cry Predator game, but have it be like a spiritual successor to Concrete Jungle. And again, open world as the Predator. Fuck yeah. But let me know what you guys think of all this. Would you guys be open to the idea of a Predator game, and how would you incorporate Predator into Far Cry? And yeah, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon for exclusive content, and if you hit the 4th tier, you guys can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.